In a faraway village in the east lived a girl named Aku who was blind from birth. Her world was forever cloaked in darkness. Aku lived on the outskirts of the village with her older sister Udo and her mother Unzubi. Despite her disability, Aku learned to take care of herself as her family did not pay much attention to her. They considered her a burden due to her blindness and preferred to live their lives without her. In a heart-wrenching twist of fate, Aku had to learn the art of survival, not out of choice but necessity. Her mother and sister never bothered to give her food or clean the house. Aku would go to the local market to purchase food items and then prepare meals at home. When her mother and sister returned from their village escapades, they would eat all the food Aku had prepared without considering whether she had eaten or not. The welfare of Aku was the least of their concerns, even though they were aware of her blindness and need for assistance to earn money. To make ends meet, Aku began braiding hair in the village. On most days, she would braid 3 to 5 heads, and she would save the money she earned in a safe box. She heard of a powerful medicine man in a distant village who had the ability to restore her sight, but the treatment was extremely expensive. Nevertheless, Aku was filled with joy and eagerly anticipated the day she would see for the first time. This joy motivated her to work even harder, disregarding the exhaustion and backaches she experienced from sitting for hours braiding hair. One fateful day, Aku discovered that all the money she had diligently saved was missing from her safe box. Frustration overwhelmed her, and she immediately sought her sister Udo for answers. However, Udo dismissively brushed off Aku's concerns and denied any knowledge of the missing money. Aku's heart shattered when she remembered Udo's jubilation over new shoes and clothes, only to realize that her sister had used her hard-earned money to buy those items. Tears rolled down her face as she cried, questioning what she had done to deserve such treatment from her own flesh and blood. In that moment of despair, Aku vowed to rise above. She kept on working hard and started saving all over again. One day, when she went to the stream to fetch some water, little did she know that her sister was secretly following her. Just as she was about to fetch water, her sister pushed her into the stream. She struggled and struggled, but she couldn't swim and found herself sinking to the bottom. Meanwhile, her sister returned home as if nothing happened, and took advantage of the situation by stealing all of Aku's hard-earned savings and pretended to be clueless about her whereabouts. Days turned into weeks, and no one cared to know where Aku was, not even her mother. Their mother assumed Aku had left home willingly and didn't bother looking for her. Only Udo knew what had happened to Aku, and she never told anyone. Many years passed, and Udo was struck with an unusual sickness. In desperation, her mother tirelessly sought treatment from various places, but nobody could treat this illness. Eventually, they heard of a renowned healer in a distant village who had successfully treated numerous difficult cases. Determined to seek help, they embarked on a journey to meet this great healer. When they reached their destination, they were greeted by a bustling crowd surrounding the healer's house waiting to be treated. As a result, they had to wait patiently in a corner for their turn. When it was finally their turn, they went in to meet the healer, and to their surprise they saw Aku. However, she did not recognize them at first, but when they spoke she immediately recognized their voices. "Aku, is that really you? Can you see now?" her mother asked. Upon hearing this, Aku started to cry. She never knew she could survive the push into the water. She began to explain what had happened to her mother. "On that fateful day, I went to fetch water from the stream. As I was pulling the bucket, Udo pushed me into the water. I started sinking because I couldn't swim. But then, a short while later, I found myself alive in a strange land. A man had saved me and took me under his roof. I never knew he was the great medicine man who could heal people's blindness. Before she pushed me into the stream, Udo stole money from me, which I had been saving to meet the same medicine man who could restore my sight. She simply shattered that dream when she took the money to buy shoes and bags. Despite her actions, I chose to forgive her and started saving all over again. However, this time around greed took best of her as she tried to kill me. When the medicine man realized I was blind, he healed me for free. Soon after, I pleaded with him to allow me to stay and learn the art of healing others. Under his guidance, I dedicated many years to acquiring the knowledge and skills that I possess today. Upon hearing this, they were overwhelmed with remorse and started shedding tears of regret. They humbly begged Aku for forgiveness, and of course she forgave them. Aku selflessly healed Udo without accepting any form of payment from them. After the treatment, they went back to their village as transformed individuals, filled with remorse for their past actions towards Aku, and vowing never to be heartless or wicked again.